Welcome to another holiday shopping season. When the doors opened at this Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania store, the pushing and shoving began. One woman was knocked to the floor and suffered a broken leg. This scene has been repeated in hundreds of stores across the country that advertise the Cabbage Patch Kids. The Cabbage Patch Kids are dolls about 16 inches high. They don't walk, talk, wet their pants, or grow hair. They don't do much of anything. But they have upset the supply and demand cycle to an astonishing degree. There has never been such a first-year demand for a new doll.
As far as I'm concerned, they're the worst-looking things I've ever seen. I mean, they are pathetic-looking, they're homely.
I don't know what exactly the attachment is. I think they're cute, but kind of funny-looking.
Last year it was strawberry shortcake. This year it's Cabbage Patch dolls.
The dolls originated here in rural Georgia about 5 years ago, the brainchild of 27-year-old Xavier Roberts. The original sold for $125, but when Coleco Industries took over the marketing of the dolls, they made copies and priced them at about $25, and the company couldn't make them fast enough. They're manufacturing about 200,000 a week in Asia and chartering planes to get them to stores in the United States. But demand exceeds supply, and there is only one reason.
I like them.
This supply and demand cycle created by this doll is a marketer's dream.
The owner of the company decided to treat it like a collectible, like a Hummel or a collector plate, and buy it from a customer and then quickly sell it for a very low profit.
So people are coming in here selling their $20 dolls to the store for $40. The store then turns around and resells them for $50. Most buyers can't express why this doll is so popular this year, and others can't explain why they want to buy it. But they do want it.
I don't like them. I don't like them. I don't like their faces, but I want one.
What's up, guys? Jason of New 80s Revolution down here in the cave. And fresh back from Mexico, where I engaged in a hair versus mask match with Conan and lost. Yeah, the hair's gone. Sometimes I do this. I get in these weird moods where I'm just like, let's shave it all off. Anyway, who cares, right? This isn't a fashion show. It's a New 80s Revolution. It's all about toys. And today, as you could probably tell from that little intro, we're going to talk about Cabbage Patch dolls. How about that, though? How about those crazy Karens before they were Karens? Just beating the hell out of each other trying to get a doll that is ugly as sin. I don't know. 1982 was that 83 was that craze, the Cabbage Patch doll craze, and we've talked about it before. I personally think it's probably the first toy craze of our country, maybe of the world. I don't know. I think we could say that the Cabbage Patch doll probably ushered in better toys, right? Because the kids of the 60s and 70s, what did they have? They had a rock on a string or whatever, those Barbie doll style G.I. Joe figures. I think it goes without saying that our generation was best for toys, and I think that maybe the Cabbage Patch dolls started getting people really zoned into toys. And it works for me because I am a Cabbage Patch doll fan. I love these ugly little things. And there's some weird rumors, on the internet of why the Cabbage Patch dolls are so ugly. I read one a while ago that they were supposed to look like survivors of nuclear disaster, Chernobyl type stuff, which is just kind of messed up. But I don't know about that. Yeah, but I love them. I don't just love them as a 45-year-old collector. I loved them as a kid. I absolutely did, and I had a Cabbage Patch doll as a kid, but it wasn't an official Cabbage Patch doll. So also, I think for the first time, the Cabbage Patch doll craze brought out the bootlegs. And I can't say for sure, but I'm assuming, the Cabbage Patch doll is responsible for some of the earliest, if not the first, bootleg craze as well. Because every housewife with some talent was capitalizing on the Cabbage Patch doll market by making their own Cabbage Patch dolls. And companies would sell big kits on how to make your own Cabbage Patch doll. And eventually, and I'm talking about the early 80s, maybe 85, 86, craft stores were selling actual heads that were, couldn't be direct copies of Cabbage Patch doll heads. They were a little bigger, but you got the idea. It was a Cabbage Patch doll head, and that's what I had. I had a bootleg Cabbage Patch doll that was a little bigger, a little fatter than the originals, and I loved it. I loved the Cabbage Patch doll probably a little bit too much. I remember my family went camping once, and I brought the Cabbage Patch doll with me, and I was the butt of many jokes and teasing at 9 years old, toting around a Cabbage Patch doll on a manly camping trip. I also very vividly remember walking up to a garage sale in my neighborhood, and it's the neighborhood that I've showed you in the past, that childhood home. Walking up to a garage sale with, $3 in my pocket and buying baby clothes for my Cabbage Patch doll. Yeah. Now, the part that blows my mind the most is when I drive down that old street, that house is about 25 houses down. It was a long street. That's a far walk for an 8-year-old / 9-year-old walking by himself to a garage sale at 8 years old with a pocket full of change, coming home with baby clothes. This guy. Enough of that talk. Let's talk about the Cabbage Patch dolls. I currently have, I have 3 loose Cabbage Patch dolls, and let's start taking a look at these. Now, I was always a bigger fan of they had the dolls, the dolls. The regular dolls had the hair, and they were babies. But then maybe, I don't know if it was at the same time or maybe a year into the collection or whatever, they started making what they called preemies. And those are kind of strange because preemie means premature baby. So Coleco made a doll of children that were born too early and called them preemies. And I liked the preemies more because they looked like babies. So here is a Cabbage Patch doll preemie. All the preemies came with bald heads, and they were smaller than the than the regular Cabbage Patch dolls. This one is actually my favorite. I got this at a garage sale about I don't know, in the summer. I got this at a garage sale in the summer, and I'm looking at the head, and I'm wondering if this is. It's really hard to tell if this is even a. It says 1973, and then it says 1982. Yeah, I don't think this is a re-release or anything. For a minute there, I was thinking maybe this was a re-release Cabbage Patch doll, but I don't think it is. I'm trying to see if that says like 2004. No, I think that says soft. I think it says soft, and then 1970. I don't know, man. I don't know. But I got a preemie Cabbage Patch doll. This one has a diaper on it. Actually, no. This is official because I've got the paperwork to prove it. Forget what I just said. I'm not going to edit it out, but it's okay. This one has a diaper, as you can hear. And all of them, well, I won't take the diaper off of this one, but all of them have a little signature on the butt. Xavier Roberts, whoever that was, he signed each figure in print. But anyway, here's Cabbage Patch Doll Preemie, and this guy came with paperwork, which is an amazing find. So this little guy's name is Fred Fitzgerald, because the lady that I bought him from at the garage sale had the original birth certificate. So what you would do is you would each figure would come with a birth certificate, but then you would mail it in, and then it would add your name to it. So Bonnie Bertrand, back in 1980 something, adopted Fred Fitzgerald. So that's pretty cool. And it came, so she, with this is actually the steal of the garage sale, because, you know, she kept the original envelope that it came in. Cabbage Patch Dolls sent her a birthday card for Fred Fitzgerald. I think that's awesome. You know, I think that's amazing. That's probably the best part of this doll, is all the fun little accessories that she kept. So, Fred Fitzgerald and birth certificate. All right, we've also got your basic. Here's your basic Cabbage Patch. I have no idea who this is. It doesn't have it didn't come with papers. Also has the diaper, and if you can see, it's an actual Cabbage Patch Doll diaper, which is awesome. No idea who this is. Got their little sneakers, you know, little Adidas knockoffs, little two stripes. You know, the yarn hair. Now, some of the very, very early original Cabbage Patch figures had cloth faces as well as the yarn hair. So they didn't have the plastic faces. They had very strange looking cloth faces. Those are like the first run. I don't have any of those. That might have been like very early Cabbage Patch Doll. Then we have a little bit of a later model with the ridiculously long hair. So this is like massive amount of hair. Cabbage Patch. I don't know the date on this one either. And let's see if I can see a little stamp. She doesn't have a diaper on because she's like 5. Yeah, there's a little, I don't know if you can see it. It's faded and it's written in pink, but there's an Xavier Roberts signature there on the doll. I think this was my wife's. I think she donated this to the collection. And this probably looked like her as a kid. I'm not sure. But anyway, here's a little bit more of a grown-up Cabbage Patch Doll. And then we have my boxed Cabbage Patch with the plastic coming away, but this is Bruce Marty. Cabbage Patch Dolls gave their kids the worst adult names you could think of. Like this one is Fred Fitzgerald, right? They always gave him a first name and a middle name. So we got Fred Fitzgerald, and then this one is first name Bruce, middle name Marty, right? Who names their kid Bruce Marty? But huge boxes, right? And imagine, just like you saw in that video earlier, imagine like 100 of these on a store shelf, right? Just taking up a ridiculous amount of space. Pretty good stuff, right? The boxes have the legend of the Cabbage Patch Dolls on the back. Good stuff. Love this box. This was only like, this I got, these are not expensive. You know, you look at these boxed Cabbage Patch Dolls and you're like, oh, that's, you know, got to be massive amount of money. No, I actually bought 2 of these about 10, 12, 15 years ago at a flea market, and they were $10 each for boxed Cabbage Patch Dolls. All right, then they got crazy and they came out with I don't know, half human, half animal, and they called them Koosas. And we've got a Koosa here. So you can see we've got, it kind of resembles a child that mated with an animal of some kind. And it produced a Koosa. Right? So we've got the Cabbage Patch doll Koosa. I don't know what this is, if it says what it is. It says, I was rescued from Waikusa Valley during the big flood by Colonel Casey, the kindly old stork. Koosas are a special loving breed who become a friend to those in need. Give me a name and care for me, and I may bring you good fortune. And these were 1984 from Coleco. So Coleco didn't waste any time capitalizing on the Cabbage Patch craze. They made these weird things. Koosas. This Koosa still has this tag. I don't know if they came boxed. I assume they did. This guy's got a tag on him still. I assume they weren't loose. Maybe they came with a tag in the box. I don't know. But here's a Koosa. Now back then there was a ridiculous amount of accessories for the Cabbage Patch. You could, anything that you could buy a baby, you could get the Cabbage Patch doll. So if you look back at some old catalogs, right? If you get like if you get an old Sears Wish book or something, and you go back to the girls section, and you find the Cabbage Patch dolls. There's baby furniture that you would get. So there was play pens, there's cribs, there's high chairs, there's ridiculous amounts of accessories for the Cabbage Patch doll. I have some of them, of course, including the Cabbage Patch Kids potty chair in box. Sure, because as your kid gets a little older, you gotta train them to use the potty. Now this is from Hasbro, you'll notice. So in, I don't know when, so 91, this is 1991. So I assume late 80s, early 90s, Hasbro took over the Cabbage Patch doll from Coleco. And I don't know if there was a period of time where Cabbage Patch dolls were done, and then Hasbro brought them, because they've been brought back many times. I think this is the first bring back. I think, Coleco did their thing, I assume until like 87 or so. I don't know when Cabbage Patch dolls were still in stores from Coleco. I assume they disappeared at some point, and then Hasbro just brought them right back. So this is the Hasbro potty chair in box. It's in there. I don't think it comes with any accessories. It's just the potty. Yeah, there's actually toilet paper that comes with this. Oh, I didn't know this. This is a tinkle tinkle. You can hear real tinkling sounds when you put your Cabbage Patches on the potty chair, and then you can make it flush. So this apparently, 3 batteries. I guess this did a little bit more than just sit there. You could make the tinkle, and you could flush it. Okay. Now, a little bit more classic. We've got the Coleco. So this was probably 83, 84. Let me see if I can find it. It doesn't really say, but yeah, I would assume 84. So this is like the first run of Coleco stuff. So this is the first. These are the Coleco products. So these are the products that came out with that first rush of Cabbage Patch dolls. And here is the table mate, right? So before the high chair, or in addition to the high chair, you would pull this chair up to the table. It straps underneath. You put your Cabbage Patch doll in there, and she sits at the table and eats. This is awesome, right? Just a great box. Your Coleco box. Looks like your Cabbage Patch doll box. And it's got a great product inside. Again, I don't know if... Oh, this is cool. Haven't looked at this maybe ever. We got paperwork. Yeah, this is good. We got the instructions. Pretty neat. I assume that these are copies of the instructions. I assume, right? Because I assume it just came in booklet form, and then somebody made copies of it. That's fine. That's good. And that's about it. Yeah. Yeah, so the seat's in there. The instructions are in there. And there you go. Remember when, look at this, 1984, when toys actually gave you metal, right? Metal rods to connect to your sharp metal rods, by the way. Holy cow. I could rip my skin open on that. Yeah, why? Yeah, come on. Come on. We're not messing around with plastic. We're using actual hacksaw sliced metal just to get some tetanus going there. Love that. So great. And of course, I literally just pulled it up to show you, and it won't go back in the way it was. Yeah, it's sticking out. No way. I literally just pulled it out to show you, and it won't go back in. All right, there we go. So this I love because it's Coleco, and all of these items are $10, $15 at toy shows and things like that. And then I pick up little accessories. You know, they Cabbage Patch took advantage of the PVC craze, right? So I got some of these little, you know, PVC style figures. Why not, you know? I remember getting this. I don't know why I got it. It was a garage sale many, many years ago. And it says Christmas on it. This doesn't have anything to do with Christmas. But the box says Christmas. The stuff inside was just like two kids walking to school holding hands. But, you know, just like your stupid little ceramic doodad. But it had the box, so I bought it. What else we got? We got the Cabbage Patch doll. Remember these things? The talking phone. Remember these? You know, I actually had one as a kid. Or no, my sisters had a Mickey Mouse one. And you know, when it worked, the batteries, you would dial a number, so 584, right? You'd press 584, and this little kid would talk to you. Hi, I'm Susie. Well, actually, they came up. I'm Bertha Helen. How are you? And then, you know, you change the channel. Oh, it doesn't even turn anymore. Oh, wow. It doesn't even turn. But this would flip, you know, and you could talk to Sybil Sadie by dialing her number. And you'd you know, a little message would come out. And that's that. That's the Cabbage Patch craze of my life. So what else do I have? Anything? I think I have I thought maybe I had a lunchbox. I don't. Oh, I got this. Hang on. I didn't show you this. I don't know why I left this up here. Not a big deal. Cabbage Patch piggy bank. Right? No big deal. Cabbage Patch piggy bank. I'm done buying Cabbage Patch stuff, or so I thought. I couldn't turn down Preemie because they came with their birth papers. But I'm done buying Cabbage Patch, but they are an absolute essential part of this collection. And somebody asked me a while ago, when we were doing the TN80s Power Hour, people said, you know, what if you could, you know, take like 5 toy brands and almost like make them the essential icons of the 80s. Cabbage Patch dolls was included, in my opinion. I think they started it all. I think Star Wars was popular. I think He-Man in 82, 83 or so was popular. But nobody was, no stay-at-home moms were beating the tar out of each other in a Toys R Us over a Star Wars figure. So they were doing it over these ugly things. And I think that started the whole thing. There's board games. I've got a board game in the back of Cabbage Patch, a couple of board games. I mean, there was everything. Toothbrushes, everything. Cabbage Patch dolls. Huge part of the 80s toy craze. And near and dear to my heart. I love these things. Obviously, I've got a ridiculous amount of Cabbage Patch dolls. So, you know, sometimes I come down here and I just hug them and I just love them and you know, smell them. Okay, that's that. We'll see y'all next time. We'll do the VHS collection next. That was a special request, and then we'll keep going. All right, go get yourself a Cabbage Patch doll. See y'all later. Good night now. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.